Welcome everyone to Little Roadie Wargaming for our first sharp practice battle report between the British and the French armies. Today's game is Scenario 6 Rescue Mission from the core rulebook. Today the British will be trying to rescue their captured colonel, which is being held in the farmhouse here, and then get him off of their far short table edge, where their primary deployment point will be. They also have some troops currently in the field to effect this rescue, so there will be a secondary deployment point within 6 inches of this objective house. Now, the French are rushing to try to prevent this rescue from happening, and their forces will be coming in piecemeal from by these pastures here. Now that just means that they can only deploy up to 1 leader per turn. So as far as some of the terrain today goes, the trees, or just under the trees, will count as light cover. It is not difficult terrain. Also, any of these patches of shrubs here, if any skirmishers are mostly behind them, it will count as light cover as well. Also, the house, the barns, and the stone walls will count as hard cover. So let's take a look at the armies. Okay, so here we have 60 points of British. They are a light company. Leader 1 is a level 3 leader, that is Captain Johan of the KGL. He is assisted by leader number 2, Sergeant Nadler. He is a level 1 leader, and they both have a group of light company in line. Leader number 3 in the front is Lieutenant Strasberg of the 2nd KGL. They are light company skirmishers, and he is a level 2. And then in the back left, we have leader 4, Lieutenant Cunningham. He is a level 2 of the 95th Rifles, and he is leading a group of rifle-armed skirmishers. We also rolled up some of our support points, and we each got 4. So the British will be taking a doctor, a holy man, and this rifleman right here with the chosen man band is a sharpshooter. So let's take a look at what the French have brought. Okay, and here we have 60 points of French. They are led by leader 1. He is a level 3 Chief de Battalion Bertrand, and he has with him 4 groups of French line infantry from the 1809 to 1812 selector. Leader 2 is a level 2, that is Sergeant Morel, and he is with a group of voltigeur skirmishers. Leader 3 is also another level 2 leader. It is Lieutenant Bougie, and he has with him another group of voltigeur skirmishers. And then leader 4 is a level 1. It is Capitaine Remy, and he is with a light cannon. Now the French also had 4 points of support, so they opted to take a musician, a holy man, and this skirmisher right there, he's got a little tuft of smoke on his base to mark him, but he is also a specialist sharpshooter. Now, let's get started. Okay, so with a quick look at the battlefield before the cards start to come out, we have the British secondary deployment point there, 6 inches from the captured colonel there in the house. We have the French primary deployment point there, just behind the wall, 6 inches in, halfway up the table. And then we have the British primary deployment point where they need to evacuate the colonel from. So we also rolled for our force morale. The French are at a very motivated 11. They don't want that colonel getting away. And the British are at 10. So we'll get back with the first card draws. All right, so we're all ready to go. Ted's got the deck over there. It's all been shuffled up, and we got a blue flag. There are 4 flags of each color in the deck. So then we got a red flag. Okay, that is red leader 2. He's attached to the main formation, so he can't do anything just yet. Another blue flag. Well, all the flags are going to be coming out. Another blue flag. That's a lot of flags in a row, but nothing's on the table yet, so let's keep going. Red flag.
That's 3 in a row.
Yeah, but there's nothing on the table yet, so nothing. There's no randomness yet. All right, blue 2. So that is one of your groups of voltageers. That is Sergeant Morel. So that can be your one leader to come on. And they can come on within, I believe it's 9 of the deployment points. Okay, so Sergeant Morel just kind of came out and deployed into those woods there. So, next card. Got blue 1, but you already have your one leader on the table for this phase. Another red card. Actually, how many red flags is that? It is 3. I'm worried about the Tiffin coming out without having anything on the table, so I'm going to use those flags to deploy something. So with those 3 flags, I brought Lieutenant Cunningham on with his 95th Rifles, and he is going to fire into the sides of these voltageers. They are at long range, but it is their first fire, and they are light infantry skirmishers firing. So looking for 4s, and the black die that I have in here is for the marksman. All right, so the marksman, in typical sniper fashion, misses. So I got 3 hits. So that is Ted, 3 dice for you. They are in hard cover, because they're skirmishers in amongst the trees. So that is 2 points of shock. All right, I'll take it. Got another red flag. All right. All right, so I'm not doing anything with that other red flag, but next one is red 3, I believe is Strasbourg. So my other KGL rifles, and I'll get them out on the board. All right, so Lieutenant Strasbourg and his KGL have just deployed. They're sweeping around the back of the building. So next card we've got red 4, which is Cunningham. So he's already activated.
Tiffin.
And there's the Tiffin. All right, so we'll shuffle those cards up and get back with the next set of draws. So first card, blue 3. So that is... There's that Lieutenant Bougie.
Should be.
Yep, blue 3 is Lieutenant Bougie. All right, so the other group of voltageer skirmishers, and we'll get them out on the board. Okay, so Lieutenant Bougie and his skirmishers have just deployed up to the wall. So let's see what the next card is. All right, red flag. Red flag. Keep going.
Tiffin.
Tiffin. All right, so I've got 2 flags out. So I know I'm going to have Lieutenant Cunningham's group here just double reload their rifles and get that out of there. And then I am going to 1d6 for this group's free move, and then 2d6 for their other action. And 9 inches should be more than enough to get them around into this door here. So I'll move them in there, move them into contact with the colonel, and we'll get everything shuffled up. All right, so we have the lieutenant and the KGL just moved in there and secured the colonel. So next card, first card we got is red 3, which is Lieutenant Strasbourg and his men. They are just going to go right pack out the way they came in. So d6 of free movement and then 2d6 for the rest. Oh, no, that's not great. 7 inches, so that'll just get them out the back. So I'll get them moved. All right, so Strasbourg just came out the back here. Didn't get a great move, but he's at least out, and he's got some serious cover between him and the French. All right, red flag. Okay, and leader 1. I don't think I'm going to bring him on just yet. All right, blue flag. Red flag. All right, that's 2 in a row. All right, leader 4, that is, oh, your cannon. Capitan Remy. We'll figure out what he's doing. All right, so Captain Remy has just deployed right there on his deployment point and loaded his cannon. So we do things a little bit different with some of the cannons to kind of adjust their mobility and kind of how powerful they can be, especially on a smaller board. So due to the chaotic nature of the French deploying, we've decided that the cannons have come on limbered. So he chose to deploy it unlimbered, which meant that he had to then load the cannon. So that's kind of what we're doing with that. When they're first deployed, or if they're limbered up to have a little bit different movement, the cannons are unloaded. So he's on there, he's loaded up, and he is pointing straight across at the 95th. So the next one is red 2, which is Sergeant Nadler. He's attached to the formation that's still hanging off the table right now. So keep going, and there's the Tiffin. All right, so we've got some flags. What have we got as far as who's gone? So I had Strasbourg go. You had
Cannon.
leader 4, which is the cannon. So neither one of these have activated. You've got the higher force morale, so you can use a flag to activate one of them.
Oh, no. Can I remove
Gonna
one
go
of the
with
shots
Sergeant
with it?
Morale.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just figure out what he's doing here. All right, so just a quick correction. He's not pulling the shock because it's not activating the leader, but he's moving 2d6 a little bit closer towards, so 2d6 minus 4.
So it's 4.
So yeah, you can move up 4 inches there. And then what are you going to be doing with that last one? Because you did your free d6 and then d6 of movement.
Gonna...
You can add another d6 if you just want to move them further.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, 6. So that gives them a little bit more options, and we'll show you where they end up. Okay, so the voltigeurs just kind of spread out into these woods here, and with one of the remaining British flags, I only have one unit that hasn't gone, so I'm going to activate the 95th here, and they are going to fire straight across at the cannon. They do have range. That was long range, so long range would be 6s, but they are light infantry skirmishers, so it goes down to 5. Once again, the black and orange die is the sharpshooter. I got 1 hit. All right, so you have 1 hit. You are in hard cover with that cannon. So 6 is a kill, 5 is a shock. Nothing. All right, so we'll get the cards all shuffled up, and actually I think we're good to go with the first one. All right, first card we have Red Leader 1. Okay, well, I think I am going to bring him in, and I think I got a pretty good idea of where I'm going to do it. So I'll get him out on the board. All right, so the British Light Company has just come on over here, and they are marching down to run some interference. So what we got for the next card? All right, blue 4, which is the cannon. It is loaded. What is Captain Bougie doing? Or actually, no, Captain Remy. Yeah, that's Remy.
Where's shooting at?
Straight across. All right, so we're just over 30 inches. So we'll get all that figured out. Okay, so he's presented and fired into the 95th. It's 11 dice, needing 3. Ow. All right.
9 hits.
All right, so that is 9 hits. So they would be in hard cover, but he's firing a cannonball, so it reduces it down to light. All right, let's see what happens. All right, so that's 2 dead. and lots of shock. Okay, so 4 shock, 2 dead. Is the lieutenant hit? He is not. All right, so we will pull 2 of them out, and we'll get the shock marker down. Let the what do we got for the next card? Tiffin. Interesting turn. All right, so the first card, red 1. That is the leader over there with the light company. So I'll figure out what I'm doing with them there. All right, so the captain just got a good 10-inch move and is starting to come around the flank here and up the hill. All right, so next card. Blue flag. Blue flag, all right, that's 2. That is 3 in a row. So I've got a 2d6 for random movements. All right. That is a 9, and we'll figure out what happens. So the captain just asked, where's that damnable map? But the enemy's right there. They're not in march column, so that really has no effect. Okay. I'm going to use those 2 red flags to sharp practice the rifles, and they're just going to reload. All right. So get rid of those there. All right. Leader 4, that is the cannon. You are double unloaded.
So we will just load it.
All right, reloaded. These rifles are really going to have to get out of the way. All right, so red 2, that's the sergeant with the light company. He doesn't have anything to do at the moment. All right, red 3, that is Lieutenant Strasberg with the colonel. So let me figure out what I'm going to do with him, because I'm not sure yet. All right, so Strasberg is, he's just got to get a dodge with the colonel. So free movement and 2d6 for activating the unit there. Okay. 13-inch run. So we'll move them and get back to where they end up. All right, so Lieutenant Strasberg. Yeah, is that the lieutenant or the... It is the lieutenant. Okay. So Lieutenant Bougie.
All right. So I think we're going to do a free 6-inch movement.
Get over the wall.
Get over the wall and then shoot into that squad.
Okay. So just hop the obstacle. Get out into the open. All right, so it's first fire. They're skirmishers at long range. So we need 5s down to 6s down to 5s down to 4s. So you got 1, 2 hits. That one's really cocked. Or I should fold over another one. Okay. So 2 hits. They are light cover. Oh, so that is a dead and a shock. It is not one of the leaders that's with them. So one of them is picked off. And you were shooting the flank, so that's going to be 2 shock. And the voltageers are... well, you free moved up. You fired, so you can reload them.
Okay.
And I won't complain if you want to leave them unloaded.
No, I'll definitely load them.
Next card. As red 4. I believe red 4 is the 95th here. So I'll figure out what I'm doing with all their shock. And we'll move them around. Okay, so the lieutenant just pulled a shock down to 3. They moved 2d6 out this way to get out of the arc of the cannon, and then just use their free move to just turn and face possible voltage air fire. So, all right, red flag. The big blue one, that is the big man, the Chief de Battalion Bertrands and his 4 groups of French line. So we'll figure out how they're coming off of that, or if they are. Okay, so they came on in March column. They didn't have a whole heck of a lot of options, so they're just squeezed in there in March column. And next card. All right, so you have 3 blue flags out. So you can activate something that has not yet already activated. You can sharp practice something, which I think the sharp practice are on your voltigeurs, or we can keep going.
Keep going.
All right. And there's the Tiffin. All right, I think the only thing that hasn't gone yet is your voltigeurs there. I think all my stuff is gone, so we'll figure out what's going on there. Okay, so the voltigeurs just rushed down into the open and are going to be firing some shots on the flanks there. They will be unloaded afterwards, but they're needing 5s. So that's 3. All right, 3 in light cover. That is a dead and 2 shock.
Oh, no.
And it is a leader that is hit. On a 1, 2, or 3, it's the lieutenant. It is the colonel. And he is wounded. So we'll get back with the start of the next turn. So the colonel was hit. Treat this as a bad thing. And no one either seems to care or seems to notice. All right. So yeah, they're unloaded. Got 4 shock and a wounded colonel over here. Let's start with the first card. Blue flag. Blue leader 1. All right, so that's your big column over there. And we'll sort this out. Okay, so the colonel just moved up the group of line and had enough room to be able to snap them into attack column, but barely. So next card is the Tiffin. So you've got a flag out, so you can activate anything except for the line. So the voltigeurs just moved up their free move, and they're going to be firing into them as well, needing 5s. That is 1 hit. Light cover. They're fine. All right, so we'll get everything shuffled up and carry on. Things are all shuffled up. So first, blue flag.
Leader 4 red.
Leader 4, I believe, is my 95th. So I'll figure out what I'm doing with them, and we'll cut back to it. Okay, so the rifles are firing. There was a point of shock removed. They are in effective range of the voltigeurs. So that'd be 5s or 6s down to 4 5s or 6s. And I have a marksman in there. So looking for 4s. All right, so the marksman has hit. And this one was very cocked. All right, the marksman is the only one that hit. So just 1 hit on those voltigeurs, Ted. Ooh, and it is a dead. So on a 1 or a 2, I hit the leader because it was the marksman. So roll another d6 and let's see what happens to him. He's killed. All right, finally that 95th chosen man has actually pulled his weight. So they fired, they killed him, and they half reloaded. And we got to roll a bad thing happens for a status 2 leader killed. So a d6 is a 4, status 2 leader killed. A 4 is 1 point off the force morale. So that drops the French down to 10 and significantly reduces the command and control. All right, so next card. All right, blue 3, which is Lieutenant Bougie over there.
3 D6 of movement.
All right, another 4 inches up. That may take them into close range. Let's check that range there, because I think you might have moved into, yep. Okay, so they are in close range. So we're just looking at 4s, because you're no longer in effective or long range, so you don't get that +1. So that is 8 shots, needing 4s into the flank.
The specialist.
Oh, and there's the specialist, all right. Oof, only 2 misses. All right. So let's see if the specialist kills anyone. No, but that's a lot of shock. And then how many other?
So it's 5 other shots.
Okay, so 5 more. So there's a dead. And another shock. Let's see. Does it hit anyone? Oh, no, it does. So 1, 2, or 3, and it's the lieutenant. It's not. It's the colonel. And the colonel is knocked out. So he'll have to be dragged along with him. And then we had 6. We're up to 6 shock now. No, correction. We are up to 8 shock. That is 8 shock
Did you remove the
and
kill?
3, 6. No, it was the leader that got hit. 5, 6. So they are going to be forced to involuntarily withdraw, and we'll get that all sorted out. Okay, so they were forced back and did some bad things happen roll, and I got a 1 on both of them, so they're not too upset about it. 4 is your cannon, which is kind of stuck in there. So we'll figure out what's going with that.
Move shot.
So we just removed a point of shock, and we get a red flag. All right. We got a red flag. And we got a blue flag. So that is a random firing action on these voltigeurs. So we need 2d6, and we'll figure out what happens. All right. Ooh, it's a 12. All right, well, let's look that up. So a 12 is, good lord, I think I've been hit. And Lieutenant Strasberg has been hit. It took him a moment to realize, so bad thing happens. 3 on a status 1. Check that. I think it's 1 point.
Status 1 wounded.
Or I'm sorry, status 2 wounded.
Status 2 wounded. It's -1 point.
All right, so the British go down to a force morale of 9. And yeah, he's now level 1, which is very problematic. So yeah, next card.
Blue 1.
Blue 1. There's some things happening here. Okay, so the French attack column has just pushed up just into short range and is opening fire with their first fire on the light company here. So we measured it out. They are shooting as if they're in short range, but any hits that are allocated to this group are 1 range bracket farther, so they'll count as light cover. So needing 3s for first fire. Is quite a few. All right, we'll get this totaled up and we'll come back to shot allocation. All right, so we got 7 on each. So here is the 7 that is going on to the captain's group. We have 1 kill, and that's very cocked. Okay, so 1 kill and 5 shock. So we'll move that out of the way. And then the other 7 onto the sergeant's group is 1 dead and 4 shock. All right, so not a bad bit of shooting for the French. We'll get that all sorted out with pins and casualties. All right, so all the markers are down, and got the next card coming out. So that's you got 3 blue flags there. And everything but, well, the dead leader is gone so far. Okay, that is my sergeant. So he's just going to pull a point of shock. So we'll take care of that after next one. And blue 2, that's the dead one. So nothing happens with this one. All right. Okay. There's 3 red flags. Keep going. 4 red flags. Okay. All right. I know what I'm doing. I am going to activate my line as hopefully what's going to be a bonus action. So we'll figure some of this out and we'll get back with exactly what happens. Okay, so that line just pulled some shock and they wheeled kind of forward a little bit to bring everything into arc. All right, so next card.
Tiffin.
Of course, it's the Tiffin. All right, so I think as far as all the blue leaders have gone, and French is only the one that has flags out. So we'll shuffle those up and get back.
I can act.
All right, so this group of voltigeurs, well, the leader hadn't actually activated, so he's activating at the end of the turn with the flag, and he's firing at this poor group over here. So needing 5s. 1 hit. All right, they're in, like, it's a dead. It is not the leader this time, but that is going to cause them to involuntarily withdraw again. So that's -1 on a 6 for force morale for involuntary withdrawal, bringing the British down to 8. All right, so now we'll shuffle everything up.
Right?
All right, so first flag, red 1. All right. They're going to present and fire. So we'll put all the dice together and get back. All right, so it is 17 shots. It is their first fire. They are presented and they're firing into an attack column. So best they can get is 2s. And that is 15 hits. So we will figure out where they're going and get back with the rolling. Okay, so this is 3 shots on all the groups. Oh, that is... Okay.
That's terrible.
So just stick that in front of them so we know where to put it. So next group in the front rank, that is 2 shock. Next group back there, that is 2 shock. Group with your leader is a dead and a shock. So he won't get hit, but... And then the cannon is 1 shock. All right, so we'll get those marked and we will get back with the next card draw. So we got all that marked up and ready for the next card. All right, blue leader 3, that is Lieutenant Strasbourg over here, and well, he's having some issues. So he's a level 1. He is going to just activate the unit, and they're going to 3d6 away from these voltigeurs. We'll figure out where they end. All right, so they get a whopping 3-inch move back, and they use their free move to just turn, so they're not getting enfiladed anymore. All right, next card. All right, that is red 2, so the sergeant is just going to pull the remaining pin on his group, or remaining shock rather. And a blue flag. Ah, blue 1. All right, we'll figure out what this attack column's doing. Okay, so the Holy Man is coming on with the French column. Moving D6. Oh, 6 shock. So that's all the shock.
That's all the shock.
And the unit is going to fire and reloads, or reloaded rather, and is firing straight forward. We've totaled up. It is 17 shots from the group in the middle. Count up those 17 dice, and we can stick this smoke right back on. So 17 dice. Let's get right there.
I'm hitting on 4s.
They are close range, so yep, 4s. You've already used your first fire. All right, so we'll count these up and we'll apply them to where they need to go. All right, so there were 9 shots. 4 of them are going to go onto the sergeant's group. That is, wow, 4 shock. And 5 onto the captain's. 3 shock. So we'll get that shock all sorted out, but while we wait for that, see what the next card is. It is a red flag. All right. Let's see what the next card is, and get this out of here.
Did you remove the kill? Or?
Nope. Casualties are still on, which, to recap, both of these groups have 1 dead, and we have 4 shock on each. Blue flag, so that's 2 blue flags.
Is that, with the red, is that 3 in a row?
Nope, that's 2 in a row.
Okay.
That's 3 in a row. So you have a 2d6 random firing action.
11.
11. All right, we'll check to see what that is. All right, so an 11 was oink, but the dastardly French, when they put the colonel in his farmhouse prison, had already made off with all of the livestock. So there's 3 blue flags out there. We're ready for the next one.
Activate that unit.
You're going to spend 2 flags to activate the leaderless unit? Okay. And what are they doing?
I'm going to take 1d6 free move.
All right, so 3. Unless you're going directly away from the 95th, you are moving nowhere. Because you have 4 shock. Here, we'll sort this out. So the voltageers just moved 2d6 back, getting 6 inches away from them, and used their last action to move, to turn around, make sure they're not being blasted in the back. All right, so I am going to use those 2 flags to sharp practice the 95th. Tiffin, of course. Nothing happens. So you still have 1 flag, so Lieutenant Bucci's group hasn't gone yet. Oh, that's bad.
3d6 of movement.
So they shuffle 2 inches up.
Which is the 2 inches you move.
Yeah, it's pretty much how far they got away before. I think you're still going to be within 12. And you have 6 shots hitting on 4s. So that is 2 hits. They are light cover. They don't care. Wow, okay. So that was a slight reprieve for Strasbourg's group here. We will shuffle it all up and get back with the next activations. So the first card is... Okay, so that's the dead one. So roll a d6 and we might have a level 1 leader step up. 5, I think that will, but we'll check. So there's a new status 1 leader in charge of that group. Next card, blue flag. Red leader 3. So Strasbourg just got another 3-inch move and face the Voltigeurs. Red 2 is the sergeant. He's just gonna knock his group's pins down to 3. Blue 1. All right. Well, they're uncontrolled again. And we'll figure out what this attack column is doing. All right, so Ted has pulled some shock off the Voltigeurs and has activated the cannon, which is turned, and is firing across at them. 10 shots, needing 5s. 4. And they count as being in the open. All right, so that is 3 shock, which may break them. So there are 8s. They go up to 11. They have 5 men, including the leader. Yep, they rout off the table. And since they took the colonel with them, there's no way the British can now rescue him by bringing him all the way over here to their primary deployment point. So at this point, the British are going to withdraw because they cannot complete their objective.
Viva la France!
Yeah. So, thank you for watching. It's our first game of Sharp Practice, and there will be many more to come. As always, help us out. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment. Let us know if there's any rules that we missed, which I'm sure there are a few. Subscribe. If you're already subscribed, hit the bell so that you know when we post new videos, and we will catch you next time.